All right, beautiful people. Today is a special one. We have delts and arms. And this is a great one because we are starting off with the Smith machine press. Now, I felt pretty good today. My energy was at an all time high. There were no injuries. And of course, I got to protect myself. I had to move the bench and then a little bit to make sure that it is at the right spot. Now, the reason why we starting off with Smith machine presses is because it's a very nice, easy movement to set up and execute. Not much pressure on our joints, but we can also push out a decent amount of weight. So, with this one, we are going to be going with some high volume here. But most of the exercises over here are actually supersets. So, we're not only going to be doing our Smith machine press, but we're also going to be doing some dips at the same time too. So even though we are pushing with our triceps within the Smith machine press, we're also going to be emphasizing on our dips and extending, pushing through our palm and getting those triceps some extra work in. It's a shoulder and arms day. And I hope you guys are all smashing your training and I hope you guys are enjoying your day. Thanks for everyone that's joined me and supported me. So over here, I'm just increasing that weight a little bit more, challenging myself. Obviously, I've got some elbow sleeves to protect my joints as well, keeps them nice and warm and makes it easy to execute the movement. If you want some elbow sleeves, visit KXK Fitness. You can check it out on Instagram. And don't forget to check out mine as well, Aquamidua. Now, when I'm focused on heavier weight, you can see my face and it's pretty full on with this as well too. There's a lot more energy exerted, but I'm taking my time to increase that weight. And that's one of the big things that you guys will see. Nice push. When it comes to dips as well too, one of the things that you guys will notice as well with me is sometimes I just take some time to come down nice and low, pushing through the palm and activate those triceps muscles. It's all about time under tension and also mind to muscle activation. You got to activate those muscles well in order for you to feel good and hit them as well. It's not all about lifting. You guys got to focus on this mind muscle connection. Pretty excited with my set over here, as you guys can see. And I just want to say a big thank you to everyone that's joined me. I did an extra few for the gram, and I looked out and I was like, "Yep, that's it." And yeah, then as it gets heavier as well too, one of the things I start to focus on is making sure I wrap up well. You guys, you gotta make sure you wrap up, guys. I'm just kidding, but using wrist wraps, the benefits of wrist wraps is just keeping your wrists nice and stable. Again, all my fitness accessories are from kxkfitness.com, so you can feel free to check it out. This is a game changer when it comes to your bench press. You don't want it too tight, so that's why I was highlighting my forearms as well too. When you are going for a 1 rep max, that's a different story. Go all tight, but you don't want to cut off your circulation when you're doing this. So nice control with these movements. Even though it's going heavier and heavier, I still try and maintain as much control because at the end of the day, your shoulder muscle is a very small muscle. I don't need crazy amounts of reps to be able to target it efficiently. So that's one of the biggest things. Sorry, I don't mean need crazy amounts of weight to be able to target it efficiently. So if I do put on weight, I don't want to compromise my form while I do these. So that's another thing that you guys can take into consideration when you guys are hitting like most of your exercises. Remember, when it comes to your biomechanics, when it comes to execution of the movement, that's number one, as opposed to your breath strength. So it's always going to be a big part, making sure you activate those muscles well with getting a nice push. At this point in time as well, I've done a few sets, so there's more blood in my arms. You can see the pumps starting to arise. So I'm sure you guys can see most of this. And of course, I challenge myself with a few more sets. And of course, I've got my wrist straps again for protection. And yeah, once I find my comfortable weight down, when I say comfortable, that's probably wrong. It's probably discomfort because this pushes me out of my comfort zone. So you can see my face over there. Okay, it's a little bit blurred out, but look at that. That's not a pretty face at all. Everyone's got their lifting face, is what I call it. And when you are lifting nice and heavy, you gotta be in that lifting phase. It's not easy, but you know, yeah, I can dance around and smile around after my sets. But when it comes to the actual game time and set time, it is game on. We go hard. So for me, that's one of the things that's about pushing through the palm. Look at that. And feeling those muscles work. Okay. And over here, when I there's a little bit of an elbow extension over here to get my triceps activated. So that's my main focus when it comes to such a movement as well. Check out those pink shoes as well, too much. My fashion is completely out here. So nice and controlled. We're moving over to our dumbbell shoulder press. With a dumbbell shoulder press over here, we've got 1 1/4 reps. Is what I love about this. The whole purpose of this is not just for show. It is so we can keep that tension on the muscles, even in that short little rep side of things. And when we go down deeper, we're still under excessive contraction. So it's just a great way to increase our time under tension. Okay. Now we are also supersetting this with these movements. So we've got our shoulder press in, and then we're going to be supersetting this with some bicep curls. Okay. So nice and easy, getting the blood flow in, keeping that time and attention in ideally our upper body and our arms. So we're doing exactly the same thing with our bicep curls as well. 1 1/4 reps. And really, really feeling those muscles work. And that's very important when it comes to these movements. It's not just a one-off thing. You got to make sure you can really feel those muscles, especially when you go into supersets, because I know it's a bit more volume. So it's very easy for you guys to disconnect from the muscle groups when you're in pain. So if that does happen, what you just want to do is just stop for a little second and, give yourself a little bit more rest and really squeeze those muscles. And of course, that is if your goal is also purposely for bodybuilding or sculpting your physique. I know everyone's got different goals. You can train for strength, you can train for power, you can train for just overall fitness as well too. So there's so many different reasons and different ways to train. So I'm just giving my partner a little bit of grief over here. That's why we're just giving a little bit of shizzles, as we'll call it, because I don't want to swear on YouTube. Nice control. That's what it's about, getting that control. And so even though I'm going up to 30 kilos over here, one of the things that you guys would notice is 35 kilos. Oh, sheesh, can't get that one wrong. Is I still try and make sure my form and technique is still good. It is 1/4 reps, not just quarter reps, as a lot of people start to do once the weight starts to get heavy. Of course, I've got a different weight for my bicep curls because my shoulders are obviously stronger than my biceps. So this is a great way. Make sure you are prepped for this exercise. Make sure you have some dumbbells ready for both, because you're not going to be able to you're not going to be able to curl as much as you will be pressing. Obviously, your shoulders are much bigger muscle groups. And of course, your secondary muscle group, what you use when you are shoulder pressing, is your triceps, which ideally are also stronger than your biceps. So it is going to be great when you use these movements, but make sure you prepare. Make sure you have 2 different types of weights for this one. This one really starts to get you. It gets you ticking and gets every muscle working. And the beauty of this is you're keeping the upper body in the blood. And this is a different or extensive way of training I love, because look, you can get a nice little pump as I'm showing over here, but it's not just about that. It just allows us to keep constant tension, constant blood flow in the muscles. And now when we talk about constant blood flow and our sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, is a great way to increase the muscle glycogen uptake. So I've put it up a little bit more, 40 kilos, and I'm still trying to maintain control. There's a little bit of shift here and there, which probably, I could have probably gone slightly lower here, but I think my ego kind of took over a little bit here. And I just, sometimes you just are like, I just want to get this weight out, because that's all you've had in your mind and you've been ready the whole day to smash that weight. You've been thinking about it. I'm one of those people that gets excited over training. So drop a comment below if you're like one of those people, because I know I am as well. But I hope you guys are enjoying this style of training as well too, and this training video. And I want you guys to try it out and let me know in the comments below. I love this one. Just after a few more, you're getting a good pump in. About 45 seconds rest as well too between your breaks for these supersets. You need to give yourself a bit more time, because you get exhausted, a lot more exhausted as opposed to when you're doing your normal sets. They're a lot more taxing on your body. So yeah, just getting that nice control in, getting that squeeze in. So each time you hit an exercise and you get to the peak of the movement, what you want to do is focus on the squeeze right at the peak of the movement. Now, what I've got here is a tricep extension, which I love. I absolutely love this movement. I used to hate it a lot. In fact, I hate it when it goes heavy because it basically affects my elbows a little bit more. But with my elbow sleeves, I've been really, really good. With this, I'm standing up on the bench. So something a little bit different, as most of you guys will see. And I'm sure most of you ask why. Look, everyone is different biomechanically. I find it's actually better for me, and I can really hit that sweet spot when I stand up on the bench. Everyone's got different heights. We all gonna be hitting this from different angles. So I'm not saying do exactly what I'm doing, but play around with the bench and adjust and see where you feel the most comfortable at while doing this movement. And now we are also going to be supersetting this, okay, with our rear delts, one of our most important muscle groups to train. And this only became most important because we don't do enough back movements or enough reverse flies or enough rear delt movements in general. We tend to neglect it because it's one that we can't see. But this actually, neglecting this causes a lot of injuries because let's be real, most of us love to bench or most of us love push movements. And the more and more we're doing it, we're increasing the frequency with our training and keeping it extremely high. The more that we technically should be hitting our antagonists or opposite muscles, so they basically, connect with us. So yeah, this is one of the things that I guess one of the things that you can pick out from it, and you can learn from it as well too, because it makes a massive difference when it comes to your training and execution of your movements too. That's one of the biggest things that you should really, really be looking out for. And now, increasing that weight slightly is going to be starting to put a little bit more pressure on my joints, and I understand that for sure. Again, I'm always prepared. I've got my elbow sleeves ready and just getting ready for that superset. Now, another thing here, even though I've increased that weight with my overhead extensions, when I am doing my flies, I am making sure I am doing much lighter weight. Your rear delts are much, much, much smaller than your triceps. So please take that into consideration. Make sure you actually prepare and have different weights for each as well too. And you see that tiny little muscle at the top to the right and left, right above the shoulder, that's our rear delt. So that's what we're aiming for. So I got a little bit of swinging in there. Takes a lot of pressure off my rear delt. So but it still hits it. You still get a little bit in there. My form's not always perfect, and that's why I bring it to you. I don't have to have textbook form. That's one of the biggest things too that people might be like, oh, like you pick out your form and it's not perfect. But look, you can't be perfect all the time. All right, so moving on, what we've got here is a front raise. Now, the reason why we're doing this seated is to try and get a little bit of that core movement and a little bit of that leg movement or drive or momentum away, okay? And we're doing this with our bicep curls. Now, the good thing about this is we are not doing full range of motion, but that's also going to keep that tension on the muscle. So very short range, hitting those high spots, hitting those peak spots when we do our biceps and also our front raise as well too. Again, another one, and whenever we need to rest, the good thing about this is we can go quite heavy. So whenever we need to rest, we can just rest on our legs, That's a nice little one. Doesn't stop there, stops there, but starts again. Stops there, start again. This is where we go into our dead stops. That's what we call them. Okay, getting the activation point from the lower point of the muscle to right at the peak of the execution. This is amazing. This is very challenging as well too. But the good thing about that is, again, sitting down like that, I get a little bit less of a swing, a little bit less of a hip extension, which is also going to give me a lot of power. But once other muscle groups kick in, then there starts to be a bit of a transfer of actually what muscle groups I'm working. So if I'm here and I'm bicep curling and I'm swinging a little bit and my hips are doing a bit of it, so I'm going to probably start working like my hamstrings when there's a hip extension or my glutes. So there's some of the things to take into consideration as well too. Now, you guys can see all those weights over here. So this is a good one to just give you an idea. Well, we're doing lateral raise, but we're also doing some giant sets or pyramid sets. This is beautiful. One of my favorite finishes for delts. Absolutely love and hate it. This is an absolute burner. It's also mentally challenging because one of the things about this is you can stop. You can stop. You can stop. You have a little break in between, but to keep you going the whole way, that's mental. You know, your brain is gonna be like, "Oh, now I need to stop. I'm done. I'm done." So when you are doing this, if you don't have a training partner, just aim to get through it. Aim for numbers. Aim for that goal. That's what's gonna push you guys to your limits. It's very easy for you to be like, "Nah, I'm done," because you got no motivation. It's very high rep things. Anything with high volume and high rep sometimes can get like that as well too. So really, really focus on the little things. Those are the things that are gonna make much of an impact. The little motivation cues. That's why I made this a last set as well, because you gotta always finish off strong when you are finishing. So I want to ensure that you guys are making the right moves and finishing off strong, because right now you're gonna be exhausted. This is a true test of pass. What you can do as well too is be like, look, if I can get through this one, I'm done. I've got my achievement for the day. That's what I put the end. I just want to say a big thank you for everyone that's been watching this, supporting my journey. A huge shout out to Graph Language, one of my biggest supporter. He's been on every single live stream, and he's basically been super chatting me as well too. Feel free to donate. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Follow my Instagram at Kwame Dua. Follow my TikTok at Kwame Dua Official. And Facebook at BB Kwame for more, guys. Don't miss out. If you're not already subscribed to Kwame Dua V2, make sure you subscribe, because there's more coming, and it's all for you guys. Drop in the comments below what you want to see more of. Your boys are. Peace.